One immediate effect after the coffee enema and colonic irrigation is that my waistline was so much slimmer. What I thought was belly fat had disappeared. Actually, it was all that fatty gunk in my liver, as well as all that encrustations on the insides of my large intestine, my descending colon, the last 6 feet of the colon before it comes out. So basically, the procedure is you do the coffee enema. You hold the coffee for 15 minutes. So basically, the coffee will cross from the lower colon through the hepatic artery into the liver. And coffee or caffeine has this particular property of dissolving the the fat in the liver, as well as any unwanted glycogen, I suppose, but I'm not sure about the latter. And then it pushes it through the common bile duct, and it comes out through the small intestine. So it's a way of flushing out all that accumulated fatty gunk in the liver, which causes the liver to be less efficient. And to make the liver more efficient, the liver has to produce more liver enzymes. There are 3 or 4 liver enzymes that are monitored when you do a liver function test. So if your enzymes are above the reference range, it means your liver is working hard to do its job. It needs to work harder to do its job. So the ideal is to get your liver enzymes within the reference range so that it's in optimal working condition. And the reason why the liver is not functioning optimally is because of all that accumulated fatty gunk. And this happens particularly if you're on metformin, because metformin is a glucagon signaling disruptor. It disrupts glucagon signaling, and glucagon, as you know, is produced by the alpha cells of the pancreas, and it's a hormone whose function is as a messenger to instruct the liver to release glycogen in the liver in the form of glucose into the blood. And metformin disrupts this instruction, so the glycogen remains in the blood. Thus, your blood sugar level looks nice and low, but you're basically exchanging one set of problems for another. And the set of problems is the glycogen remains in the liver, and eventually over time the liver gets saturated with glycogen. But as you eat more carbohydrates, the liver needs to make space for the new glucose that is in the bloodstream. So the liver then converts some of the glycogen into fat to create space as you eat more carbohydrates. Okay, so when you do a coffee enema, it gets rid of all that fatty gunk, empties the tank, as it were, and you can fill up your liver with more glycogen, and therefore your blood sugar level will go down because your liver is not saturated with glycogen. Okay, so that's one thing. So temporarily, I'm stopping my metformin. I take 500 milligram once a day, usually after my biggest meal of the day. But now I'm stopping it because my tank is empty. I don't really need it. And whatever carbohydrates I eat will be broken down to glucose, and the glucose will be stored in the liver, and it'll be released on demand by the glycogen. And then insulin, of course, will get it into the cells, into every living cell in my body, because glucose is the primary fuel for every cell in your body. Okay, now I did the coffee enema first, and then followed by colonic irrigation. Now, colonic irrigation gets rid of all the encrustations in the stuck to the large intestine, particularly the descending colon. It's descending colon is about 6 or 7 feet, about 2 meters long. There are 3 bits of the colon: the ascending colon, the transverse colon, and the descending colon. So it only goes in as far as the descending colon. And if you eat dairy products or drink milk, there's a milk protein called casein, and this is, it's like gunk. It'll get encrustated onto the sides of your intestine, particularly the descending colon. And when it does so, food is not easily absorbed by the colon. And when you do colonic irrigation, number one, you feel a lot slimmer because all this gunk comes out that's stuck to the inner lining of the descending colon. And also, food is more easily absorbed by the body. Nutrients are more easily absorbed by the body because they don't have the encrustations blocking the absorption of nutrients. So you'll find that you will actually eat less because your body will get the nutrients it needs, and it'll tell you that you can stop eating now. I've got what I need, Whereas if you have all that encrustations and your body doesn't get the nutrients it needs, it'll keep telling you to keep eating. I need more, zinc. I need more glucose. I need more iron, magnesium, or whatever else. Okay, so what I felt after doing the coffee enema and the colonic irrigation was my waistline was so much slimmer. Now, this fatty gunk in the liver is ectopic fat, meaning misplaced fat. Misplaced fat is fat being stored in cells or organs where they are not meant to be stored. Okay, fat is meant to be stored in adipose tissue. This is the subcutaneous fat under the skin. That's where it's meant to be stored. If it's anywhere else, it's ectopic, meaning it's misplaced. And when it lodges in the organs of the abdomen or outside in the viscera, it's called the visceral fat. But this fatty gunk is not visceral fat. It's not on the outside of the liver. It's in the liver itself. So it's a different form of ectopic fat. And this is the fat that causes non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Now, Western medicine will monitor you for, over a few months or years until your liver enzymes are double the reference range. And then only they'll do an intervention. They'll give you some medication to lower your, fat in the liver. But what colonic irrigation does, coffee enema does, is that it physically removes the fatty gunk, which I think is a more efficient way than a pharmaceutical solution. And there's a parallel with wet cupping, which I do at Akubekam, which physically removes fat-soluble toxins in the adipose tissue of the body. So primarily, the body stores what it can't get rid of through the lymphatic system in the adipose tissue on either side of the spine as well as elsewhere. Because that's where it does least harm when say uric acid crystals are stored in fat. It doesn't cause problems because the crystals are very sharp and the fat sort of cushions or buffers it and you don't feel any pain. It's only when uric acid crystals crystallize in flat muscle tissue, and then when you move the muscles, they rub against the flat muscle tissue. And it causes irritation and is manifested as pain. And if you've suffered gout before, you know how painful it can be. So coming back to coffee enema and colonic irrigation, I've started this, about 11 years ago. And you know, if you buy one session, it's quite costly. It now costs 380 ringgit. Previously, it used to cost 200 ringgit. So now it's more expensive, almost double. But if you buy a package of 5, you'll only cost you 1,500 ringgit. So that's a saving of 400 ringgit or 21%. Now, previously the package was 4,000 ringgit for 20 sessions, but now they make it more affordable. 1,500 for 5 sessions. Okay, you don't have to buy 20 sessions. But if you've never done a coffee enema before, you have to understand that you have to do the colonic irrigation first for 5 times, and then on the 6th time, then only you can do the coffee enema, because you need to get rid of the incrustations stuck to the inner lining of your descending colon first. Otherwise, the coffee will have difficulty crossing the gut blood barrier and then through the hepatic artery into the liver. Okay, so if you've never done it before, then you basically have to invest in a package, okay, before you can do the coffee enema. And coffee enema is indicated when your liver enzymes are elevated. And even if it's slightly elevated, you go into it, and then you'll find your blood sugar levels will normalize, and your liver enzyme levels will also be within the reference range. So this is something I highly recommend. I do it at Pure Detox in Taman Tun, Dr. Ismail, Jalan Tun Fuad or something. It's opposite the Maybank and next door to Affin Bank, or a few doors away from Affin Bank. And next door there's a Swedish pizza restaurant. I'll provide the full address in the video slide, at the end of the video slide. Okay, so see you next time. Bye.